Getting a little raspy here, Sean.
Yeah, I know. Well, we talked to a lot of awesome people. That's what's going to happen. We have another one here too.
Yes, we do. Kind of winding down our stay here at Hexagon Live 2025.
Yep.
And I don't know if they're going to have one next year. Maybe our guest can tell us, but this is our first time here. We've absolutely loved it. And, can't wait to do more events with these guys for sure.
Absolutely.
So before we continue down that path, let's get our guest in here real quick. Just name, who you're with, and what you do.
Okay, hello guys. Thanks for having me. My name is Bernhard Richter. I'm VP Geomatics. I'm looking after all the total stations for surveying, also the GNSS, the digital level, not to forget, and the software around it.
Right on. Well, there's a lot of exciting things happening in that arena, that's for sure. Talk about some of the latest and greatest advancements and some of the stuff you're showing off here.
So
we talked to Hans too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hans. So Hans was, I asked Hans this morning, and he said he talked a lot about the AP20.
Yep.
So the tilt compensating pole for TPS positioning.
I heard you had something to do with that.
Well, yes. Actually, it goes back a long way, because the original idea to do tilt compensation without a magnetic sensor is going back to 2009. And
oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That
like you weren't
crazy.
even like that's a long time ago to have something.
I had no idea.
And the concept is, like in aviation, is known since 100 years, that you have pitch roll and heading out of the movement. And this idea was taken over by a good friend of mine, who tried to convince me we can do this on a survey pole. And it then took 2 years to convince my bosses to give me the money and do all the pre-projects, and whether the IMUs at that time can deliver the accuracy. And there wasn't as many IMUs and MEMS-based IMUs in 2010 than there is now. I mean, it's on every cell phone now. And then, yes, we could always prove we might make it. We're always close. Can we get the accuracy? Because we need centimeter level accuracy. That's how we make our money with. And then, in 2017, we launched the very first tilt compensated GNSS on the pole. And then everybody else copied us. It was
hopefully you got a patent on that or something.
We have certain patents, but it's very hard to patent physical basics.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it was the GS18T, and that technology. We knew we want to do it on the total station already back then, but is actually one thing that's complex is the time synchronization. With GNSS, you have a perfect timing, and you can very easily synchronize the IMUs. But on the total station, that was a bit harder, so we had to figure that out. And and I think 2 years ago, we launched the AP20 at InterGeo, and can now do the same. It's actually even more accurate on the AP20, even the IMU, because the piece itself gives a better accuracy in a relative sense. So it's really nice, and it's more accurate than leveling up by hand. So it's
amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
nobody else has it yet on the total station. So
there you go.
Like, 1-2 years, and then
I think it will be soon out. I really think so.
So
but it's helping us when others develop the market. So it's not only a disadvantage.
So what is it like being on the forefront there, and you're creating something where, like you said, the IMUs weren't really that prevalent, but did you know that they were going to be in phones, and you planned on it being, and then did you plan on that technology also advancing while you're kind of in the middle of this? Like, seems like you're chasing a moving target a little bit.
I think that's what drives me, right? To take it to the push the boundaries and take it to the edge, and not knowing will we succeed somehow. But it was evident, because MEMS or MEMS-based IMUs went into iPhones, iPads, lawnmowers.
I mean, that had to be exciting for you guys, right?
Yeah. And so because of the volume, the price will go down. But they also, some applications need more accuracy, and so we thought it was one of the bring that into industrial or professional products.
So what kind of like high level voodoo mathematics goes into figuring something like this out? Like there's so much happening in this equation, right?
Yeah, yes. So you need to ask our algorithm guys. I mean, I used to program algorithms 25 years back, but the very smart mathematicians and physicists in our company who figured it out. The principles are simple, but then to really write the algorithms with all the side effects you can have and the noise you get for all the sensors, that's really the art behind it to make it robust. Because to reach this plateau of productivity and then not just be excited about a trend could work. So we need to bring it to the market when it's really working reliable, and also when we can give a quality indication. It's no point in giving you a position unless you can tell your user how accurate it is.
Huh? Yeah. So was there like a breakthrough moment when everything just finally came together and you're like, bam, that's it, we got it?
So if you ask me for the moment in my career, because I was, it probably was the moment when we knew we can do it, and it's solving a big customer problem,
right?
Because we have let me explain this one application. We have a customer in Canada who had to stake out 250,000 points for a solar panel farm.
Okay,
and he said, only if I save like a couple of seconds on every point, it's a couple of man months. We saved him
right. That's crazy
in his work. So these things felt good because typically I only get the problems. Of the users, and then
the other use case
things treatment does very well.
Have you had lessons and it's all worth it?
There's many of those. I mean, I remember that the time when we discussed, do we need to add more satellite systems like GLONASS and Galileo? We never, because we have enough money to build the Galileo system, because it was always delayed, and it's never easy to make the right investment decision, because of course it helps when you add words to your algorithms, as you said, and it will make the system better, but you depend on, let's say, other influence factors. Well, a government have the money to bring up the satellite system and all these things. So I think that was another good moment in my career when we managed to bring out more than just GPS, more than just GPS sensor, to add GLONASS, to add then later on Galileo, to add the Chinese system, and we were always one of the first ones. And then again, the other copied us. So these things feel good, because you need to be ahead of you need to try to be ahead of the game.
Yeah, no doubt. So like Sean always likes to ask, what's going on in the lab now?
Yeah, that was my
kind of like mad scientist.
I know you're not allowed to talk about it, and you just gotta swear everybody to secrecy. But well, what's next?
Without giving too much away, of course.
I think how do I say this? I believe a lot will move into the cloud. So what do I mean with this? We believe data moves across easily, but sometimes it's not as easy as it should be. And there is a lot of small things we can do for our customers, so that the data moves much easier between ecosystem. And for me, one big thing is like portal to portal connectivity, because the data not only lives in one software ecosystem. So it's not enough if it lives in a HEXAGON or like a software ecosystem. We need to connect to other ecosystem, like an S3 ecosystem. And this is where it's so important that the ecosystems and the portals can talk to each other. So a lot of the innovation, I think there's a lot more potential to innovate on the software service and cloud side of the thing. Because on the GNSS side, I'm fairly sure it's very matured. You can always bring on extra sensors, and LiDAR and cameras, and yes, but to really solve problems, it will happen more and more in the
Interesting.
and then AI will help big times to automate things. This whole digitalization we're talking about. There's still too many people who have a paper plan in the field. That still exists, and I think there is no need for this.
Sure.
And collaboration is another big thing. So I think we heard a very good keynote today, where it's very important that the different crews and the people in the office work well together. This is even easier to align them, and that they really collaborate, let's say, and sync the data automatically. This is where there's a lot of potential still.
Yeah, the idea of always having the latest and greatest design. There's never a gap between RFI number this. It's a live version of the same, basically the same data set that everyone's using from.
And this is what Microsoft did so well with their SharePoint, their Teams, Outlook, Word. Everything works together as one software suite, and you can collaborate. So
that's true.
This needs to come in our industry as well.
It's kind of downstream.
Yep. Well, it's all happening. A lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
What else are you excited about?
Here?
Yeah.
In Vegas. So I'm still jet lagged, so I have to party a lot. No, it's very cool things I see here, and gives me a lot of new ideas. In particular, really what AI can do for us, and deep learning, and there's quite a few things you can look forward.
It's amazing, like the whole AI conversation, and I mean that's all you hear about now, but it just like kind of slowly came to a head, and now it's like everything everybody's talking about.
Well, as soon as it seems like that's the first answer to all the problems, or it's the first solution to all the problems now, and that's been in the last year. Feels like
crazy.
I don't think it's a solution to all the problems. I rather talk about
and I don't either. I just think that when you ask somebody, everyone has some AI solution to everything, and I think that's the first thing you go to instead of taking the tried and true.
One thing never changes. If you want to be successful with a product, you need to solve true customer problem. And no matter it's AI or not, it needs to solve a customer problem. And you're using deep learning or machine learning in order to solve customer problems. So that hasn't changed. It just gives you way more possibilities to solve customer problems.
Yeah, I love it. Good stuff. Well, thank you, my friend. This has been a great conversation. Pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
great.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank
appreciate
you,
everything.
Okay.